When we think of samurai, we often imagine noble warriors living by a strict code of honor. But what happens when that code is broken? What lies in the shadows behind the steel and silence? Before we begin, I want to recommend a book that continues to ground this series, Bushido, The Soul of Japan by Inazo Nitobe. It explores the ideals that shape samurai life. But today, we will also explore what happens when those ideals are tested. The link is in the description below. Welcome to the Samurai Bushido Channel, where we explore both the light and shadow of Japan's warrior culture. If you find meaning in quiet strength, historical wisdom, and deep human stories, you're in the right place. Please like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more peaceful, thoughtful, and revealing episodes like this one. Let's begin. Chapter 1, Bushido and its Shadow. Bushido, the way of the warrior, emphasized loyalty, courage, and honor. But like all codes, it had its darker interpretations. What happens when loyalty leads to cruelty? When honor demands death? When revenge becomes duty? To understand the full legacy of the samurai, we must look not only at their ideals, but at the contradictions they carried. Betrayal among samurai. Samurai were human, and humans betray. History is full of samurai who turned on their lords or comrades. Some were motivated by ambition, others by survival. Some believed they were acting out of a higher loyalty. One of the most famous betrayals, Akechi Mitsuhide, who turned on Oda Nobunaga in 1582. He had served Nobunaga faithfully, but killed him at Honnoji Temple. Why? The reasons are debated: resentment, fear, justice. But his acts shocked the warrior world. In Bushido, betrayal was the ultimate disgrace. But even betrayal in samurai history was rarely simple. 3. Revenge is Justice, the tale of the 47 Ronin. One of Japan's most iconic stories is about revenge not for personal gain, but to restore honor. When their lord, Asano Naganori, was forced to commit seppuku after attacking a corrupt official, his loyal retainers became Ronin masterless samurai. For over a year they waited. Then they struck. They killed the official responsible, Kira Yoshinaka, and offered themselves up to justice. They were sentenced to death but honored by the people. To some they were Marikuan, some they were murderers. To others, heroes of Bushido. Revenge in samurai culture was not always selfish. Sometimes it was seen as righteous. Seppuku, the ritual of death. Seppuku, also known as harakiri, was the ritual suicide practiced by samurai. It was brutal, painful, but it was also honorable. A samurai who failed shamed his family or committed a grave error could redeem himself through self-inflicted death. It wasn't taken lightly. It was a performance of control, courage, and closure. In many cases, another samurai, his second, would assist by beheading him cleanly after the initial act. Seppuku was often ordered by superiors, but sometimes it was voluntary. Not all cultures understand this, but for the samurai, death was not the worst thing. Living in disgrace was. 5. Samurai assassins and political murders. During the late Edo period and the Meiji Restoration, samurai became involved in political killings. Radical groups used the concept of loyalty to justify violence. They assassinated rivals, foreign sympathizers, and even fellow samurai. These acts were not wild or impulsive. They were precise, deliberate, planned. One such example, the Shinsengumi, a special police force of loyalist samurai in Kyoto. They carried out covert missions, some considered heroic, others brutal. Honor was claimed on all sides. But honor, as history shows, is a double-edged blade. 6. The cost of honor, family, and innocence. Sometimes the samurai code led to tragedy beyond the battlefield. If a samurai was ordered to die, his family might suffer disgrace or exile. In some cases, retainers committed oyakoko, seppuku, parent-child suicides, to preserve family honor. There were cases where innocent servants were executed alongside their masters. Bushido upheld discipline, but sometimes it demanded cruelty in the name of obedience. This was not the beauty of the cherry blossom. It was the thorns beneath. 7. The fall of those who failed the code. Samurai who failed to live by Bushido, whether through cowardice, corruption, or betrayal, faced harsh consequences. Some were exiled. Others were stripped of title, income, or status. The fear of shame was immense. In samurai culture, public perception could mean life or death. Letters were burned, names erased. Families collapsed from a single dishonorable act. Honor built slowly, but it could vanish overnight. 8. Reflection, light casts shadows. We cannot love the samurai only for their perfection. We must understand them as whole human beings, great and flawed. Their code created beauty, but also pain. Their loyalty was inspiring, but sometimes destructive. The lesson is not to reject Bushido, but to see it clearly. To know that even the noblest path must be walked with awareness. Not sure on what we can learn today. Today, we don't carry swords, but we still carry codes. Sometimes, in the name of principle, we can become rigid or unforgiving. Bushido teaches us to honor integrity, but it also warns us to temper discipline with wisdom. We can speak honestly, but with kindness. Hold values, but remain flexible. Admit failure without destroying ourselves. Samurai history reminds us that even warriors struggle with darkness. And sometimes courage means choosing compassion. Thank you for exploring this powerful, difficult side of the samurai with us. If this episode helped you see Bushido more clearly, please like this video and subscribe. Until next time, walk with honor, but never forget the shadows.